All right. Welcome to the third episode. To start off, we're gonna actually add a weapon. You know, it's not like Splatoon's a shooter. Weapons are totally not an integral part of the game. So, import colada, check all these options. We'll import level 3 hero shot. And I'd hope you understand how to do this by now. But I'm gonna have to do it again, so you might as well get this extra information. So, for some reason I didn't scale up the hands. I feel very smart. Alright, we'll scale up the hands, which I really am surprised I didn't do in the last episode. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is go to the weapon bone and then position the weapon there, rotate it 180 degrees. Boom, hero shot. Jesus Christ, that is huge, dude. That's actually massive compared to her. What the hell? Okay. Just gonna position her hand over the trigger. Itchy trigger finger, Alright. So, rig structure. Do you want to do it? Alright. So, you gotta crack those knuckles in order to do rig structure. Alright. Before we actually get to that, we need to fix the shading on the weapon. So, I'd also hope you know how to do this by now, but I have to do it again, so you can watch, but you should probably rewind to the earlier videos. Anyway, so right here, we're gonna add the metallic texture. We're going in a strange order because I felt like it today. Well, now we import the roughness, wherever it is. We're doing this. I'm actually doing this as fast as I can, even though it's gonna go kind of slow. I am human, you guys. Team color. It's brown. It's brown. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Is there anything else? There is a mission. I don't really care that much. Alright. I care, actually. I have decided now that I care. So, we're gonna bring in a math node. Multiply this by like 15. We don't want that. Although that is cool to know that that's a thing. But we're gonna plug this into emission strength. Like that. Yeah. We're gonna see how it looks when it's welded. Hell no. Hell no. Okay. So, from this, we're gonna select the rig for the weapon. We're gonna select the Inkling rig. We're gonna select weapon. Control P. Go on relative. Now it's parented to the Inkling's hand. Alright. Dude, it's so large. The stock goes so far into her arm. I thought... Okay. I'm gonna stop. Okay. Now, what do I want to cover in this episode? Inverse kinematics, probably. Before we do that, we're gonna get into editing this armature. We could do inverse kinematics without that. We'll figure that out later. Alright, so select the arm here. We're gonna select the last part of the arm, so arm 2 sub R. Nah, we're gonna do hand. Alright, select a hand, hit Shift I, and then to new empty object. Then go into this tab right here. Bone constraints, never mind. And we're gonna make a chain length 1, 2, 5. That's great. We're actually gonna make it 6. I just realized now that it is actually 6. This is great. We're actually gonna unselect East Tail, which does actually make it 5 when I think about it, so there we go. What we're gonna do, well, first of all, select this new empty object that it made in object mode, and hit Shift S, cursor to selected. We'll use that in a bit, but for now we got to set up these sub things. So go into this right here, bone properties, and go to inverse kinematics, right? And we're just gonna click and drag lock. So on both of these, just lock it. So now this makes it so the arm only bends at the joint it's supposed to bend, right? However, it does bend upwards and downwards. So we're gonna fix that by locking X. Right? So now the arm does arm-like things, except it does bend backwards. And we're gonna fix that by hitting R, Z, and then Z again, and then 45. Boom. That's fixed. Alright, now you want to move this back to where the cursor is. So now the arm functions as an arm. However, one last thing, right here on this shoulder, what I like to do is turn on these limits and make it like, I don't know, 15, and like, let's do -20 and then 20, and then on the next one, -20, 20, -20, 20. Cool. So now this is locked, so it doesn't actually move that much, because shoulders don't actually move that much. We want most of the movement to be carried by this little bone right here. Alright, so now one arm is set up, it's great, and the way you'd move the hand is, actually we're gonna make it so that it starts right there. So what we're gonna do now is select this empty. Before we do what I was gonna say, we're gonna make it into a circle and then rotate it on Z, so hit R, Z, 90, and then we can move this size down, so now it's just a little ring. It's nicer to see. And let's go 0.5. Now what we're gonna do, have the empty selected, shift click on the armature, Control P, and object. Now we select the empty, Control A, and then all transforms to delta. So now what this does is, in Blender, if something has ever been moved, you can hit Alt G to move it back to where it originally was. So what we did with this delta is made it so that instead of being normal transform, which can be reset, we made it delta transform, which doesn't get reset. So if we ever move this to somewhere and we want to reset it, we just hit Alt G and it's back where it was. We're going to repeat this same process for this other arm and then both of the legs. So first of all, we're going to select all of the sub bones, which are these two on the leg, the other two on the leg, then these two on each arm. And what we're going to do is right click on, well, first of all, make sure they're locked, and then right click and copy to selected, which is just C. So you can hit right click C, right click C, right click C, C, and then all of them will be locked. And then this one right here. Actually. So we're gonna take this shoulder on the left, shift click the shoulder on the right, and just copy all of these as well. So right click C, 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 right click C. Boom. Now with this one, we're gonna lock X. We're gonna hit R, Z twice, 45, and then hit minus to make it negative. Not yet, actually. So hit the hand, Shift I to new empty object, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then we're gonna do uncheck use tail, make it 5, and then we're gonna move this into cursor. Now we're actually gonna move this one, R, Z, Z, 45, negative. So now both of the arms are set up. However, this one we still have to click on the arm, Control P. Sorry, click on the armature, click Control P, object, Control A, and all transforms to deltas, which is N. So if you just hit Control A N, I'm gonna do that next time. Make this a circle, rotate it 90 degrees, 0.5, and now both of the arms are set up. So yeah, it's pretty good. Now onto the legs here, which are going to be much the same process. On the foot here, Shift I, the new empty object, then Shift S, cursor to selected, and deselect use tail, chain length 5 once again. Then select the empty, Shift S, selection to cursor. Now the leg is set up, and this boot seems to not be moving for some reason. I'm an idiot. R. I thought it covered that. Somehow it didn't work out. That's strange. Anyway, once again, this leg is kind of messed up. So we're gonna fix that right now by locking Z this time, because legs move on the x-axis, not the z-axis. Now we're gonna do RXX 45, and that makes it so that legs only bend in one direction. And then make it a circle. Rotate it 90 degrees. And that's one leg setup. Alright. Next one, same process. No empty object. Shift S. Move that there. Make it 5. Uncheck use tail. And this one, lock Z. RXX 45. Now we select both of these, select the armature, Control P, object, and then select both of them, Control A, N, circle, RX 90, and now both of the legs are set up. Look at her jumping in joy and clipping her legs with these boots. These are really large, man. These are ludicrously large. Alright, so now this allows us to do is why is this, we're gonna turn off connected on this bone. You can move the Inkling without moving body parts. So if we wanted to animate a walk cycle, we would animate this forward, you know, move the legs and arms accordingly. Now here's one thing I like to do with the eyes. Okay, we'll do the more complex way. Fine. So, tab into edit mode, and Oh, by the way, I'm hitting Shift Z to go into this X-ray view. If you hit 2, you can select this middle. Right there. Shift S, cursor to selected. Okay, so then hit Shift A and make a new empty. This will just be whatever. We're gonna set it to single arrow. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees so that it's facing forward from where the Inkling is facing. Alright, so now we select the eyes. And oh man, now that I think about it, this is kind of useless. I'll edit it out, I guess. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the eyes. And since we have Node Wrangler enabled, which if you don't know, you enable through preferences, add-ons, Node Wrangler, have that on. Anyway, that allows us to hit Control T on one of these image textures, and it'll bring up these two nodes. And then hit Shift A. We're gonna load up a normal. This node is a sphere. You can see where this is going probably. We're gonna move it right here. And then we're gonna bring in a vector math? Yeah, vector math. Right here, we're gonna set it to multiply. Plug that in. And turn this to -0.3. Plug this vector into the location vector and plug this into all of the image textures. And now, this node right here dictates the eye movement, like almost 1-to-1. It's very nice. Now, here's one thing. Actually, no, it's irrelevant now that I think about it, yeah. Yeah, no, that's just how that is. Cool. Anything else? Man. It's already been 17 minutes? Wow, that took longer than I thought it would. I mean, I've got pretty much everything. Hmm. You know what? Yeah. I'm actually gonna leave it there. If there's anything that I've happened to have missed, it will be in a bonus episode that I'll release at some point. But yeah, that's how you do that. I'm just gonna post this for the thumbnail, I guess. Should I stop recording? I don't know. I feel like this might be nice to have it in recording. This is an example of how to use it. But who knows? You know what? Hip fire. This is going hip fire. Cannot be bothered with any other way of making this work. Yeah, you know what? We're on the